mean, this is probably regional, right?
Yeah,
Happy.
I mean, that's why they do.
Pass it.
A lot of times they do a session.
I have my last Little Theater board meeting. I'm vice
Oh,
president
yeah.
of Little Theater
Oh,
tomorrow night.
Nice.
Oh, sorry.
My wife's like, "Oh, are you gonna miss it?" And nope, I'm good.
think it's for the
I love Little Theater. But
Yeah.
Coming tomorrow.
attending the meetings, I'll be.
It's perfect.
Hopefully Tuesday nights, I'll be.
That was my marching orders from.
Yep.
Put my time into something else.
Yeah.
Like,
It's panicked.
You're like,
You don't have them yet?
what's that?
it's like painting the living room.
Sure, yeah.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We can go ahead and call our meeting, April 14th, regular scheduled meeting to order. We'll begin by reading our mission statement. New Philadelphia City Schools will provide all students the opportunity to achieve their highest potential, to become educated, self-sufficient, and responsible citizens. We are committed to providing every student a diverse, quality education within a safe and secure environment through a dedicated, innovative, and highly qualified staff in partnership with parents and the community at large. If you'll stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. France is absent. Dr. Fuller,
Yep.
Mr. Galantine,
Yes.
Mr. McMath,
Here.
Mr. Weaver.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Do I have a recommendation to approve the agenda of the regular Board of Education meeting? So moved. Mr. Weaver, one and a second.
Second.
Dr. Fuller. Any additions, corrections, anything? Call the roll.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Dr. Fuller.
Yes.
Mr. Galantine,
Yes.
Mr. McMath.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting dated June 12th, 2023, and July 10th, 2023, the special sessions dated June 30th, 2023, and July 25th, 2023?
So moved.
Mr. Galantine, a one and a second? I'll second. Any changes or anything to those minutes anybody saw? Call the roll.
Mr. Galantine, Mr. McMath.
Yes.
Dr. Fuller,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver.
Yes.
Motion carries.
No public participation this evening.
Nope.
Julie, Treasurer's Report.
Okay, so in your folder, you have the July financial statement, the key indicator, the cash flow, the check register, both QDA and QPA financials reports, the bank reconciliation. Everything is in balance. I'm also asking you to approve Sandcastle Education, which is Impact Group, at $124 a day for a special education student. I have the ECO ESC agreement for audiology services at $5,668.14. And again, that's a special ed situation. The approval of the Stark County ESC contract for professional development for EL learners in the amount of $500. Approval of child and adolescent contract for services for special education student in the amount of $155 per day. I have Muskingum Valley ESC for data services in the amount of $53.56.13. The next two are a little different, which I'll explain. A resolution approving AXA as an additional provider under the district's 457 plan. Letter N is approving a resolution naming the treasurer of the board as the officer authorized to conduct financial transactions on behalf of the district and authorizing disposition of certain investments. And then I have some amended certificates and amended appropriations for FY '24.
Do I have a motion to approve the financial report, treasury report?
I'll move.
Mr. Weaver, in a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Weaver, Dr. Fuller, Mr. Weaver.
I would like the opportunity to explain the two resolutions. The first one, the AXA resolution, it's a 457 plan. Typically, we have 403B plans. This will allow the people who don't continually, over the years of their employment, invest their money in a qualifying plan. When they go to get their severance paid out, they can roll it into this 457 plan as a lump sum, and then they'll be able to roll it out into any other personal plans they have. So that's what the 457 is. It's actually a benefit for our employees, and it's something that OASBO requires the resolution in order to be a member of. The second one, the resolution naming the treasurer of the board as an officer authorized is because we have had a MetLife stock in the district. It's 56 shares, and up to this point, it was worth just a couple $100. All of a sudden, Bright House has purchased MetLife. Now it's about $2,400. And in order to cash it in, because it's been on the books so long, they're requiring a resolution by the board to say, yes, I'm permitted to do that. Does anybody have any questions for me?
All right, call the roll.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Galantine?
Yes.
Mr. McMath?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Amy?
Personnel, we have a handful of resignations that happened late this summer. A couple more staff members that we are hiring to finish up the summer school term. We are hiring a district daily substitute, or I'm recommending that we hire a district daily substitute and an additional title tutor. This is to replace one of the resignations that we had. Hiring 2 bus drivers. Again, those are retirements that we had over the summer, a paraprofessional and a food service worker for a few positions that we still needed to fill. Also recommending the approval of some supplemental positions, substitute teachers, a student nurse intern, a list of volunteers, both for the classroom and for athletics. Have a motion to approve this personnel issues.
Denver. In a second.
Second.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Do we have anything that's still open or that we're going to try and get filled here directly?
We have all of our certified positions filled. We did have 2 paraprofessionals who resigned within the last 2 weeks, so we do have 2 positions open there.
Okay. Okay.
Anything else? Okay, go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. Galantine? Yes. Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. McMath?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Committee reports.
And draw your attention to the link for the Business Advisory Council information and minutes from their most recent meeting. If any other
Yeah.
committees have a report?
Yep. Any other committees? None this evening. Assistant Superintendent?
Yep, at your seats, you have conflict of interest forms. Those are for New Philadelphia City Schools, not for QDA or QPA. Those are for Lori Hall for federal programs. They're required for her. So that's for New Philadelphia City Schools. I'll be getting you QDA conflict of interest in the next month or 2. Tomorrow, we have our new teacher orientation day, which is always fun and amazing. We have 7 new teachers that we'll be working with, throwing head-spinning amounts of information at, from Julie Irwin to Patty Church to Mr. Homard going through their professional development stuff. Something different that we're doing is involving some of our new OPSI hires too. So we do have 2 bus drivers, a speech pathologist, our BCBA, a new para, a new custodian, and our 2 new principals, assistant principals coming too. So a partridge in a pear tree later, but we're really excited about it. Yeah, just to get these teachers going, we've got some really good people that we've hired, and I'm excited for them to start their Quaker career tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Yep.
So officially kind of kicks off tomorrow morning.
It does.
And then opening day is Thursday?
Opening day is Thursday.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Superintendent's report?
All right, several items here. First of all, in your board folder, you will find 3 policies that we are making slight changes and revisions to update them per the OSBA recommendations. I'm asking that you approve the Harkness Interagency Agreement and Transition Agreement that was also in the board folder. We do this annually. Approve the Ashland University School Nurse Internship Agreement. Asking you to approve the 2023-2024 transportation routes. And again, those exhibits are in the folder for you to look at more closely. And then finally, after I get a motion in a second, I would like to have a further discussion regarding the potential of hiring a second school resource officer.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Galantine, one. I'll second. One question I have before you get to that. The transportation routes are the shuttles for elementary. Are those communicated to parents? Like, do they know like what bus their students would be on? Or do they just need to call transportation to find that out?
I know they were sending letters out at the end of last week. They are communicated to parents. I know there were some late changes, so I'm not sure that all of those letters have been received.
Great.
If there's a question, a parent can certainly call when we have that information.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions about the first 4 items before we get into the discussion? Nope. All right, I provided for you a letter which actually contains a breakdown from Mayor Jewel Day regarding the cost of hiring a second school resource officer. This is something that we first discussed about a year ago, and the city and the district have been working to see if we could make this come about. If we have someone who would start all year long, they figure that the school district's portion of the resource officer's annual salary would be about 69%. So you can see they have quoted 69% of their annual salary, fringe benefits, and 69% of the cost of a fully equipped cruiser. And that would be the cost for this upcoming school year. Now, having said that, they do have an officer that's going to go through the training. They're not going to do that until in October. And so it would be at some point after that, that officer would be available to the school district. So we would need to probably renegotiate the actual cost of the salary because it wouldn't be for an entire school year. But I'm sure that we could renegotiate that equitably. So I know this is something that we've kind of talked about in passing. It is something that I would recommend. I think just having that second person available to the district would be a huge service. Now we have one person trying to cover 8 buildings and on differing time schedules and that exceed an 8-hour workday. So having someone to start early and someone to start late would ensure that we always had someone available in the case of a need. So it would be my recommendation that we pursue this. I do think financially we're equipped to do it. We have actually one less teacher going forward due to some class sizes that are coming up. So we certainly have money within the budget that we could financially take care of this. So that would be my recommendation, but with that, I'll throw it out there for questions.
Do we know, or have we made plans yet on how we would use this person? You know, for instance, one we have now, majority of the time is within the Welty and high school buildings, I would assume. Do we know what we'd do with this person? Would that be thought through later?
I've had some preliminary conversations with Chief Pahovy. We really would like to have this person spend time with students in classrooms. Part of the police department's interest in having someone in the schools is to help to bridge that gap between the way that students are brought up to think of the police officers, that they are supposed to be someone they run toward and not someone they run from. And so they have a high interest from that perspective. But I would really like to see this person utilized more with students, with staff and professional development, as far as generally patrolling and being available within the district and in the buildings on an as-needed basis.
Okay, good, thank you.
I know we talked about this, but I can't, the cruiser, is that annual? Is that what that costs annually to have a cruiser and it be equipped? Or was that one time we're paying for it and we have it?
I do not believe that is an annual cost. I don't believe it's a one-time cost either, because I'm sure at some point that cruiser is going to need to be replaced. But that is something that we would need to clarify as well.
Okay.
That's what it's been in the past. Is when they buy a new one, we have to pay our share.
So how do they prorate that then? If
So
the cost of a cruiser is the cost of a cruiser.
this year, they'll have to buy one. So they'll build it into this year's contract. In next year's contract, we won't have a cruiser unless they have to replace it.
So our current SRO does not have a cruiser cost in this
Right.
annual contract.
What I'm saying is the cost of a cruiser is the 45, period, right? So how are they?
It's
Well, the co-
65.
It's 65.
65. Yes, yeah,
And
okay,
we
I'm
would pay
sorry.
69% because 69% of the time it's in the district.
Okay, so that percentage won't change
No, no,
year to year? Okay, all right, okay.
correct. And it's my understanding then we would not have to pay that again until we need to replace the cruiser.
Okay,
Okay, good question.
I would agree with you.
okay.
But that is certainly something to clarify before we would
Yeah,
make
okay.
a final decision.
The other thing, just in addition to everything Amy's provided, is we do this year have federal money that we got approved. It's about 32,000, but it could go towards this. It's for an SRO or SRO needs.
Say that, what's the amount again?
About $32,000.
It'll offset about 2/3 the cost of the cruiser.
Is that from the new budget?
As an old car head, I have to ask this question. What's the life expectancy of a cruiser?
You know, Dr. Fuller, I don't have that answer, but I will certainly find out and report back to you.
Thank you.
Another,
And we'd be looking to prorate in some way that just nails down the amount of actual days in this school year that we'd have an SRO. So if they're not ready until October 30th, we would somehow figure whether it's by a day rate or some way of figuring out how to prorate what we think the value is.
Correct.
Got it? Okay.
any other questions?
And I guess just one other, would you picture the duties with each SRO to mirror each other? So they would both be doing kind of the same job, same frequency kind of across the district? Or do we not get into the specifics yet of one doing more of one thing or at a certain building than others? Or how do we view that?
Yeah, I definitely would have them working two different shifts, so timelines
Okay,
would be
yep,
different.
yep.
I think in my mind, because I don't know the strengths of the officers who would be in the district, that we would probably start out mirroring the responsibilities.
Okay.
But as individuals show strengths in certain areas, that could flex and change
Gotcha.
according to their strengths. That would be my thought.
Okay. And if we want to make those changes, we work with the police chief to do that? Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I've already had conversations with the police chief in general about the responsibilities of an SRO and how we wanted them to look a little bit different going forward than they had in the past. So we've already sat down with a list of expectations in that regard. So adding a second officer, that would just expand that.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Great. Anyone else?
Other concerns or questions about this? Questions you want me to get answers to?
We're just given how spread out we are and what some of our needs are, and just, I know we put a lot of diligence into safety plans, and yet with what all we have, having some additional help there seems like a good idea to me. Good.
Great. A wider timeline too, having it all day from
Yeah.
early high school, middle school to later. It's great. Okay. Call the roll.
Mr. Galantine?
Yes.
Mr. McMath?
Yes.
Dr. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And Dr. Fuller, do I have a motion to adjourn
So move.
and a second?
Second.
Thank you everyone for coming this evening.